So hello and welcome to the Bunbury Regional Art Gallery's Art and Conversation series. Although we're recording this via Zoom, I wish to acknowledge that the Art Gallery is situated on land that is under the custodianship of the Wardandi people of the Noongar Nation, and pay my respects to the elders past and present. Today's conversation is with the fabulous Monique Tippett, who was the winner of Bragg's 2018 survey of art from the southwest of Western Australia. So hi, Monique, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Monique, I have a question for you. When did you first define yourself as an artist?
Well, I think like lots of artists, we've all known that we were artists deep down inside since from an early age. So, you know, as a kid growing up, that was sort of my go-to time out. I did a lot of drawing. My mum really sort of encouraged me. So there was always pencils and papers and things to do like that. My grandparents were also very creative. My Hungarian grandmother, she was always crocheting or embroidering or knitting. So she was always, you know, I was participating in that with her. And then my Opa, he was a carpenter and a stonemason, so he was always building things as well, and he encouraged me. They lived a couple of doors up from me, so I spent a lot of time with them. And then in high school, I suppose art was the only good thing I was good at, so I took all those sorts of subjects, technical drawing and design and woodwork, and I just really felt comfortable. So I think I've always called myself an artist. But I think when I was about 22, I applied to go to summer camp in the US, and I was put into the arts room, and I spent 4 months with the kids in there doing all sorts of art, everything from copper enamelling to clay. We did lots of tie-dyeing and textiles, and I found the wood burner, and it really just sort of, you know, took hold of me. Burning, always loved burning things, I must admit. But yeah, when I came across this wood burner, the pyrography machine, it just captured me, and I just didn't stop burning things from then on. And I think that's when I called myself an artist.
So first of all, which part of the States were you in when you were?
I was in Minocqua, which is in Wisconsin, and it was just a beautiful little. It was, you know, quite a rich camp. It was right on the edge of the lake. They had a fabulous arts department there, like I said, with everything you could possibly want to experiment with, and yeah, and it was great. It really just cemented. You know, that's what I want to do with my life. And when I came back, I just didn't stop. Yeah.
Very lucky. You mentioned you called your grandfather your Opa?
Yeah.
Where is he from?
So they were Hungarian immigrants, and they came out here in the 60s, or maybe it was the 50s. Yeah, set up their life here. So there's lots of crafts, and they were always working with their hands.
So when you talk about here, are you talking about here and Dwellingup? Because that's
yeah, no. They were displaced people. They came and they were in a camp up in Cunderdin. Orpa did the big stone memorial as well in Cunderdin for the war memorial. So he did memorials and things like that too, which is sort of, it's public art, isn't it? So he was very proud of things like that. And we'd go and have a look, you know, and see what the beautiful stonework that he used to do. But then they moved down and like my mum, she grew up in Shelley, and then I grew up in Crestwood in Thornley. So I was surrounded by nature there too. It's a beautiful little part of the metropolitan area. And then we moved to Dwellingup.
So yeah. There's my next question. What took you to Dwellingup?
Well, the forest. I'd been coming up here camping for a long time. as a young person, and exploring the river, and have always loved, been passionate about the nature and the forest and the trees. So we found out that I was already making objects out of wood, and I was very interested in obviously learning how to use the material as well as the tools that it takes better. So yeah, I enrolled in the School of Wood up here in Dwellingup in 2000, and I did a 2-year diploma of fine furniture as a designer maker. So it was a fantastic course, full on hand tools, and I really got a good sense of the material. And then living here too, of course, there's lots of the material that I love, wood. So it's abundant up here. So ever since then, it's really all about the forest and all about the natural environment and the materials that are here. Yeah.
So we're both sitting surrounded by art at the moment.
Yeah. Isn't it?
The painting behind me is by Robin Bishop, who was a Bunbury artist for many years. She moved to Sydney and she's just recently returned to Bunbury.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And you are sitting in your gallery, the Lost Eden Creative. You want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so when I graduated from the School of Wood in 2003, this space here, it was just a very little rundown shop. You'd hardly notice it if you drove past it, but I started renting this space in 2003, and I had another lady, which we opened a little art gallery here, and that went on for several years. But it just took all my time up. I wasn't practicing my art and crafts as much as I would like. So we sort of rejigged it, and then we had some local artists that used the space, but I managed the space. We tried to do artist residencies from here, but yeah, it was falling down a bit. It wasn't very nice. So we were able to purchase that in 2018. And yeah, after all those years of dreaming what this place could look like, it was time to get stuck in and make it happen. So it really turned out better than what we ever thought, but it was hard. It was really hard.
It's an absolutely incredible space, and you've done an amazing job there.
Yeah, thank you. We want to bring people here to our town. I'm so proud of Dwellingup. It's just such a beautiful little town, and to be able to share this with the local people, like the school kids, they come down. It's only a little school. There's 50 children. They come down to most exhibitions with the teacher, and they sit wide-eyed looking up at the art and asking millions of questions. And I feel so blessed that I can share that with them. And also just meeting artists. Before then, it was hard. I like just being here and Dwellingup, and haven't been able to go to Perth or like go to all these sort of networking or exhibitions and things like that. So we sort of thought, if we build it, they will come. And now we're being blessed, and yeah. That's great.
Coming. And you're also taking part in the Indian Ocean Rim Craft Triennial in September 2021, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I know it is. It's daunting too, because I've got a massive year next year. I'm one of 7 leading artists for that. So I've got to make a huge work for. We're not sure where it's going yet, but in the main galleries, whether it's in Agua, John Curtin or Fremantle Arts Centre. And then we're also having a satellite exhibition as a part of, I think there's 40 other venues. So Lost Eden will be putting on a show in October actually, for that as well, based on wood. and based on designer makers and artists that work in the medium. Yeah, so it's going to be exciting.
They're definitely coming. They are getting your visitors, and it's really worth the visit. So, listening to you, and I know you've got a lot on at the moment. How do you find time to do all this? You're running the gallery, you're running your own practice, you're exciting exhibitions coming up and projects.
Yep. How do I find time? That's a good question. I just, well, I do get help. I've got a young artist that comes and helps me once a week, and then I have a carpenter that started. Every now and then he comes and helps me, so that's really great. I get a lot of work done because my work is so time consuming with just the construction part of it. That's really helpful. And I just keep going. I just, even if I don't feel like getting into the studio because I'm exhausted or something like that, I just say, just do an hour, just do an hour, and that turns into another hour, and then I eventually just seem to get it all done.
How do you approach your work? How do you prepare? What is your method in developing the concept and the design?
I think it's really seasonal, seasonally inspired. All I need to do really is go for a walk out in the forest, or there's just so much here. The seasons are so pronounced living in the forest and in the environment. We've got 20 acres where I live, and I've got a lovely studio looking out over my dam. So in winter, so like right now I'm busy burning. I've got the blowtorch going. I'm using lots of ash. It's more time for sculpture. I get the chainsaw happening. And then in spring, it's so green. You've got the beautiful dandelions coming out, and it's the misty mornings and the water, the reflection, because the dam is full. So that's inspiring. And then summer, it all goes golden. So there's lots of colours of gold I use in summer, and gold leaf. And then what's the next one? Autumn. Autumn's my favourite, I think so, because you get the beautiful coppery suns, at the end of the day between 4:30 and 5, just when the sun is that last peek through, just spills over our property, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And the shadows and everything. So, and the kangaroos, I don't know, it's just endless inspiration.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
This is how to travel. This is like a travel advert.
Yeah, I know. I'm so proud of this place. I love it.
No, it's very, very. What I want to ask you, and it's almost a trite question, but when you're looking back, what would you say to your 16-year-old self? But essentially, what advice would you give to somebody in this climate who is struggling to find out who they are? We're faced with so many new challenges at the moment.
I don't know. It is hard. It's so hard, but you just have to believe in yourself. Like, just feel proud of what you make. Believe in yourself. It's about longevity, I think, as well, and really just working away, chipping at your techniques, and focusing in maybe a bit more. Like some people, maybe they try to do too many different things. But I think, focusing down on something that you love and just really exploring that. But it is hard. It is hard. Mentors as well, I think. Finding good mentors.
Yes, I think I agree with you. A good mentor is essential.
Yeah.
The right mentor can change your life quite dramatically.
Yeah.
Who's your mentor?
There's been lots of different people coming, like the teachers that were coming through the School of Wood. I was lucky at that time. There was the Designing Futures Forum, which was in the early 2000s. So like through form, there was lots of mentors that came through to us. We had jewellery designers as well as people like Matt Harding, a sculptor from over east. Just people that I always think if they can do it, I can do it. That's sort of been my thing. Like, why can't I do it? So it's just you have to be brave and just put yourself out there, I think.
And finally, what did winning the survey in 2018 mean to you? So the Bunbury Gallery has a biannual survey of the Southwest Art exhibition, and as I said at the beginning, Monique was the winner in 2018.
Yeah. Well, it was huge. I was so proud. It just, I mean, being there with all the other amazing artists that the Southwest has in its location, you just look around and you see the talent that's around. So I think I was just super proud, just grateful that my work can go in and in the collection, and it just gives me more courage, I suppose, to keep doing what I'm doing. And as well, you know, it's just fantastic support as well, like to be acquired and, you know, receiving some money benefits back to you that you can put back into your practice. So there's so many things. It's just wonderful. Thank you.
It was well deserved, and we love your work. Monique, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you.
To anybody listening, please go and visit Lost Eden. It's well worth it. And we will be having an exhibition of Monique's work.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
December next year.
December next year. So we look forward to that.
Thanks, Jo.